Good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, and welcome here to Pit Road Productions. My apologies actually for the late start. I will completely admit I read one cell out and I'm not quite in the creature habit yet, so again, my apologies here for starting a little bit later side of that. But we are here this evening for the Shop versus Shop series presented by iRacing Sim Racing, amongst some other sponsors as well. We've got multiple sim shops involved in this, but my name is Daniel Zippy7, and already I can see here the YouTube chat absolutely blowing up here. Certainly great to have you here and on board. But joining me in the commentary booth today, the one and only Mr. Morgan Smith. Now, Morgan, we're going to be here at Daytona today. You know how I feel about track, but yourself, certainly, you've definitely got some laps in here. What do you expect to see tonight?
Yeah, Daytona's very fun. It's always competitive. Everyone always has a lot of laps here, a lot of experience. So I expect a lot of drafting, a lot of tactics to come into play today with a fixed setup and drafting that maybe you wouldn't have to deal with on some of the endurance time we spend on Daytona. But a familiar track for everyone, so I expect some good hard racing through the whole pack, Zippy.
Absolutely, and certainly. Let's see indeed where we've been and where we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, we started off at Spa before heading to round 2 for Le Mans. Suzuka last week for round 3 before taking us over to Daytona for round 4. Algarve, or indeed Algarve, depending on how you say it, for round 5. But my personal favourite track, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, one of the homes of the PRP 250 was indeed round 6. We're going to be round 6 for Road Atlanta. But before we get too excited, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look here at the championship standings. Starting off with the drivers. Morgan, if you'd like to do the honours.
We do have Kevin Desnoyers up top with Pixel Speed at 67 points. Edwin Onofre also tied with him at 67 points for Pixel Speed as well. Noah Gill, the first car for Flow State, behind them at 37 points. Closely behind them, the first Super Lab car with Eric Halsman. 2 more Pixel Speed cars after that, both with 34 points, very close, with Taylor Atkinson and Matthew Baker. In 7th place, we have Ryan Hennepin. That's the first Northwest Sim Racing, followed with 33 points, followed by another Northwest Sim Racer, Bryden Thomas, with 32. We move down to Andrew Way in 9th with SKR, another SKR in 10th with Justin Ruth. So a pretty diverse top 10, Zippy.
Indeed it is, and let's take a look here at the grid, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly they are currently out on the race in our pace up. Kevin Desnoyers is going to start us off there in P1 with Eric Halsman in 2nd place alongside Brian Thomas is going to be in 3rd with Edwin Onofre. He's there in 4th. Jonathan Poisson, he's there in 5th with Matthias Georgioy. He's going to be there in 6th. Cody Haggard takes 7th with Ryan Hennepin in 8th. OT Senior, he's going to be there in 9th with Noah Gill, rounding out your top 10.
Looks like we have Jack Linder in P11, followed by Ryan Oliver next to him in 12th. Moving right along to 13th is Taylor Atkinson, followed by next to him 14th is Dalton Etzel. 15th behind them is Archie Woods. We do have correct today. 16th next to him is Justin Ruth, Nathan Block and Matthew Baker in the row behind them. And 19th and 20th are Cody Johnson and Max Quinones.
Indeed, I was able to look there at P21. It's going to be the one and only Mr. Ian Harris. He's going to be there alongside Chad Cornett in 22nd. Carson, he's going to be there in 23rd. Carson Schullenberger. Indeed, we're going to put the grid on hold. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are going green, 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 green. And Kevin Desnoyers is going to lead us off here at Daytona. Eric Holzman, the highest qualified Super Lap driver, he's there in 2nd. What we're going to see further back in the mid-pack already, you can see here, multiple people trying to make some passes. It's an absolutely stacked grid tonight. 28 cars taking the road here at Daytona.
Hopefully we have a good, safe lap 1. Ooh, early incident here, Zippy.
Oh dear, that's Holzman.
Looks like a lot of people wrapped up, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely a little bit unfortunate there. We'll take a look at the replay in just a few short moments. But right now, it's looking pretty good here for Kevin Desnoyers. He's currently pulled away by 9/10 per second. Jonathan Poisson, he's picked up a meatball flag in that instant, ladies and gentlemen, in the absolutely gorgeous Lamborghini. Got to be honest, not really seeing too much damage initially on that car. As I say that, around he goes. Obviously, a little bit more than the meets the eye, and indeed the Lamborghini, cold tires, and indeed the meatball flag. Having a little bit of an unfortunate start here at Daytona.
That was a great save by Jonathan Poisson in his Lamborghini. My next comments, if he was about to be about the cold tires, and then the Lamborghini went around on him. So it is tough on Daytona with the flat track. I don't know the track temperature, but it looks like it's these tires are not up to temperature yet. So these guys need to play it safe, hopefully, and we can limit the incidents for the next couple laps while they get warmed up.
Well, there you go. You ask and you share receiving. There's definitely a little bit of damage there on the front of that Porsche for Dalton Etzel, one of the Flow State drivers there. Definitely a little bit that's going to really have effect on his aerodynamics. But let's take a quick look further back through the field. Jonathan Poisson still looking to try and keep fighting, ladies and gentlemen. But he does have that meatball flag. And yes, I can see the damage clearly now. That left front corner, it's fair to say he's got suspension damage. There's a lot of negative toe there. He has indeed got the wheel pointing out as the AMG that's just gone by. That's Eric Holzman. He started, ladies and gentlemen, in P2 and has dropped all the way back there to P23. No wing, damage to the front. He's going to have to bring it down pit road.
Yeah, you said it, Zippy, but I will say it is a privilege to be able to drive back to the pits. It is a long tow around Daytona, so both of these guys able to get their cars back to the pits and going to be saving a lot of time for it. So good on them to keep the car on track and not have any other incidents on their way home.
Well, let's take a look here and see what happened to Jonathan Prasson as he makes his way there around turn 1. You see there's Eric Holzman that's gone around, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, he ends up just absolutely, nowhere to go. One of the PlayStation drivers getting caught in that as well. That's one of the Oasis cars a little bit further back as well. I have a feeling we'll take a look. That might be Cody Haggard, but don't quote me on that, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, let's take a quick look here as you see Eric Holzman bringing it down pit road. Meanwhile, though, OT Senior under some pressure here from another one of the Northwestern drivers. It's Ryan Hennepin.
Yeah, on board in 6th place here. Now 7th place with Ryan Hennepin here, chasing OT Senior. These Corvettes are quite a bit to handle on cold tires, but a lot of my teammates have picked them up recently and said they are feeling very good, especially on a fixed setup. So hopefully Ryan Hennepin's going to be able to stay in the draft here of OT Senior and make the most out of the first gas tank.
Indeed, certainly there is going to be a pit stop here in this race as well. And I've got to say again, my apologies so much, ladies and gentlemen, for the late start. I had a little bit of a... It's been a stressful day, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I'm honestly relieved to be home. But right now, we're going to put that on the back burners. Cody Johnson, he's going side by side, toe to toe here with the BMW of Ian Harris. These guys are bumping and bashing each other along the state. That's all very good. But heading down here to what I believe they call the Le Mans chicane, or affectionately known to me as the bus stop. Cody Johnson able to come out on top, and does not only have that, he has his teammate ahead of Nathan Block. Perhaps these two can work together to potentially score a few more points here for Oasis Sim Racing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Zippy, but just a couple months ago, I believe they updated the curb and the bus stop in Daytona, and it's been quite the handful so far for a lot of the racing. You need to slow down a little bit more, be a little bit more technical through it. Pick and choose your battles on which curbs you hit and how much you take. So I expect some incidents through there, but hopefully we can keep it clean. I'm sure everyone did a lot of practice. Like we said, we've already had the Daytona 24 recently, which didn't go so well for myself. I don't know how many of our fans were out there driving as well.
Well, I've got to say, I did not actually get to have an endurance race drive for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorely missing it, so if you're desperate for some entertainment, as that's a little bit of friendly fire there. Taylor Atkinson giving the Lamborghini ahead of Matthew Baker a little bit of a hurry along here, and in the process, Matai Joshua has been opened up for an opportunity here. Definitely, it's for lack of better words, it's a brave place to try and make a pass just there, but indeed, he is applying all of the pressure here. Now, this corner, certainly one myself, I think, Morgan, you've definitely driven this course with me before. I take an unusual line through there, but right now these drivers are absolutely duking it out as they make their way onto the outer part of the circuit. Oh, lock up there, Noah Gill.
9th place, Matthew Baker is under some serious pressure from his teammate there, Taylor Atkinson. Matthew used to being on the podium for the last couple of weeks, so this is a little bit of change up to see him in P9. He's got a little bit of work to do, and I'm eager to see what he can manage for the rest of the race.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a little bit of a look here further back as, oh my gosh, I have a feeling this is not going to end well. So the McLaren ahead is Andrew Way. Then we have two of the Oasis Sim Racing cars going side by side. That's Cody Johnson in the Porsche, Nathan Block in the Mustang, and then Chad Cornett, he's a little bit further back. He might end up being our camera car here. Do they indeed all make it through? No, they haven't. That is an off track there, and I believe that's Max Knows, and almost contact. Chad Cornett backs off, but indeed Max Knows gets caught up in the mix there. Lap traffic really having a little bit of potential, not interference isn't the right word, but definitely getting involved in the current lap battle there. Definitely an unfortunate day here for Max Fernose driving the number 6 car, the McLaren.
We have seen good pace out of him in previous races, so I anticipate him to be able to link up with some drivers ahead of him and hopefully get back involved with the pack.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to leave you to your own devices here in a second. I'm going to do a couple of updates here on the driver road rides, but meantime, though, we've got Dalton Edsel and Matthew Baker duking out as well, and I believe that's Archie Woods just ahead. He's trying to hold on to P7, currently up 8 positions. Well done, Archie.
Yeah, Archie Wood not able to qualify as good as his Superlat team, Eric, who also had a good race last weekend, but with Eric's early incident here, holding it down for Team Superlap, Dalton Edsel definitely under some pressure from Matthew Baker, who looks inside here on the second horseshoe. The Lamborghini does have a lot of grip in the infield, maybe lack a little bit of pace on the straight, but Matthew able to capitalize there on that mid-engine car against that Porsche. Here exiting onto the back straight, a little bit of bump. It's a little bit bumpy, and the rear end can step out of you, so you have to be gradual on the throttle. Try to get your wheels straight as early as possible to get those GT3s on the power for this long straight.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to try and make that update a little bit later. I'm not going to be able to do it on the fly. Indeed, Northwestern Sim Racing going as NW Sim Racing, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, we'll make that update apply. But right now, one of their drivers, indeed, Matthias George Choi, looking to have a little bit of a battle here with Dalton Edsel. Now, he does have the damage on the front of that car, but it's fair to say Matthias has had a little bit of a rough start. Currently down 4 positions. Dalton's up 5, so he's been able to make it work for him. The damage may have indeed been worthwhile, but having a little bit of a look further back as well, though. Chad Cornett, Ian Harris, and Rodney Gibson are absolutely duking out. 3 cars and 2 different manufacturers. There's a Corvette looks to try and make a move here on the inside, backs out of it, and not only that, has Tyler Cornett right behind, applying even more pressure as it goes side by side on corner exit.
I believe it was Chad Cornett there in the white BMW in the lead of this pack that we saw take some rear damage earlier, so I'm wondering if he's suffering a little bit on the straights. His teammate here, Tyler Cornett, right up under the wing of this Corvette, trying to time his draft to capitalize into the next break zone here, it looks like.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely fantastic stuff as we are indeed able to multitask. But right now you can see there Tyler's definitely backed off a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, is right ahead of him though. Looks like Rodney Gibson's pulled it down pit road. That's a bit early.
Yeah, maybe something going on with Rodney that we don't know about, but we'll hopefully be able to catch up with him later and see what's going on with that.
These 2 guys have been pretty much inseparable for the entire this race. Don't get me wrong, we're only on lap 5, but we're definitely seeing a little bit of a pattern here. Dalton Edsel having to make the defensive game of a century indeed. He's going to make that Porsche into the Great Wall of pretty much anything at this point, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed the Corvette has not been able to find his way ahead. Matai applying all sorts of pressure, but fair play to Dalton. He's really holding him off so far, but let's give a little bit of a shout out here to Matthew Baker. He's currently up an astonishing 11 positions. Despite that, he is in the hard charger in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Way doing an absolutely fantastic job here for Street Nights. He's running in open air right now. He's got about a second and a half either end of him. But he's made his way up from P26, ladies and gentlemen, all the way to P12. Attaboy, Andrew.
If I know anything about the leader of PRP, our one and only Daniel Zippy, it's that he likes a good McLaren. So happy to see Andrew Way as the hard charger.
Indeed, Morgan Smith trying to score all of the brownie points, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, Matai is absolutely applying the pressure here. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly hard to pass here going down a straightaway, especially where these guys are running a fixed up as well. If they're going to get it done, it's going to have to be done in the braking zone. And thank you very much, Oasis Sim Racing. I definitely needed a bit of love today. Indeed, as right now, Matai not quite been able to get it done, but he is applying oodles of pressure, ladies and gentlemen. And don't get me wrong, if he keeps applying pressure, we may indeed see diamonds, as that's a pass happening further back. Taylor Atkinson going at it with Noah Gill, the flow state drivers, really being the highlight of some battles today.
Noah Gill providing him a lot of room, trying to take a different line here on the exit. Looks like Matei was able to get his pass done ahead of them as well. Matei had been under some serious pressure from Matthew Baker earlier. He did choose to let them through, drove a little bit safer, but he wasn't trying to give up too many positions, and now it looks like he's starting to fight back as he gets the Corvette underneath him. So this Flow State Porsche and Noah Gill here also having to deal with Taylor Atkinson's Porsche as well. So I'm eager to see how these guys handle the bus stop in this tight line here. It looks like Taylor Atkinson runs a little bit wide. Dalton Edsel able to get a good release there on the Porsche out to the back straight.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a quick check in here with our leader, Kevin Desnoyers. Don't get me wrong, this man on his usual count, he's rocking about 8,000 rank. Ladies and gentlemen, he is in, I don't know what the top percentage is, but it's fair to say he's up there, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, we've got some potent drivers on the on Pit Road Productions. Indeed, he's going to get class into that bracket as well. Edwin Onofre as well, definitely no slouch either. He's currently there in P2, just about 3 seconds back. But fair play, let's give Bryden Thomas a shout out. He's currently P3, having a pretty stable race, and yeah, he's got pace today. Currently running in the 144 region.
Yeah, you said it. Bryden Thomas able to really wheel this Corvette, chasing these 2 pixel speed cars. We are only currently about 11 minutes into this 40-minute race, Zippy, and Daytona is a handful for 40 minutes for any length of race, really. So anything can happen to these guys. Bryden Thomas just needs to keep his head down, drive safe, may even find himself higher on the podium if anything happens to those pixel speed drivers ahead of him.
Indeed, I know, Morgan, you definitely got some experience with not just running the GT3 class, but indeed, running Daytona. What would be your car of choice for this particular venue?
So I have just been taking a liking to the front engine cars. The thing I find with Daytona is it's easier to pass on the straight in the big brake zones. It's where the track is kind of designed for passing. It's what makes sense, and it's what other drivers. It's where you can really push it and make other drivers feel unstable as well. Trying to pass on the infield is pretty difficult. There's not a lot of room, and there's not really two lines that are of equal pace through those horseshoes. So it's really hard to pass in the infield. So taking these mid-engine cars that do have a little bit more mechanical grip at lower speed, it can be a little bit difficult to get the job done in the infield to be able to capitalize enough on the straights when you have those Mustangs, BMWs, and Mercedes bearing down on you.
Well, that's definitely a very valid point myself. You know what? I don't just drive a car for the, which one's strategically going to be the best. I like the bit of noise and I like the way it makes feel. And right now, honestly, the Corvette is the one that tickles my fancy. But indeed, in this battle, we're not going to have one of those. But Andrew Way, the hard charger in the field now, he's got some more prospective targets ahead of him. He's got the likes of Taylor Atkinson, the Pixel Speed driver. He's got Noah Gill from Flow State. And indeed, he's got Dalton Edsel from Flow State as well. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a... oh dear, that's gone wrong. Andrew Way, the number 8, the hard charger in the field, catastrophic exit out of the bus stop, and indeed able to get that car rolling again. But it's fair to say that was a heavy hit.
He may be looking to come into the pits. I'm not quite sure how much damage that McLaren had, but it looked like a pretty hard nose into that wall, Zippy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it really comes down to that wheel damage, but he's going to be suffering some aero damage and some loss of time on the straights, absolutely, with the McLaren.
My apologies there, Morgan. I'm multitasking, indeed. There's only so much I can do with that. But right now, let's take a look here at Ryan Hennepin and Matthew Baker. The Lamborghini now, he is indeed the new hard charger. But don't get me wrong, Andrew Way not out of the battle yet. These guys both up 11 positions on the day. But going by aggregate or indeed by outright position, Matthew Baker, one of the Pixel Speed drivers, currently there in P7. Now, the question is, can he make it 12, ladies and gentlemen? You can see Ryan Hennepin just ahead. Indeed, OT Senior, who's currently the highest represented Street Nights driver as well. Let's give a shout out to Superlap, though. They've really been on pace today. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Lidner carrying the torch well.
Absolutely. He is one of our only Ferrari drivers, I believe, as well. So Jack Lidner, a new addition last week, able to get a good representation this week as well out of his Ferrari. I've always commented on the Superlap cars. I think they look great with that metallic rear end, and the gold paint is especially beautiful on the Ferrari. So one of the best looking cars on the grid in my book, Zippy. Indeed,
it is. Certainly, I'm happy to see some Ferraris as well. But what I can tell you as well, we have a few more drivers we can pick away at here. But let's keep that on hold for a minute. As right now, Taylor Atkinson really getting into the battle here. He's got Noah Gill just ahead. Now, I have to wonder, can Dalton Edsel and Noah Gill work together to potentially keep one of these Pixel Speed drivers behind him and try and get some points here in the team championship?
These three cars have been fighting for quite a while. Noah Gill was able to squeak by Taylor Atkinson. I know Taylor is feeling quite racy behind him, chomping at the bit to bring it to these Flow State drivers. So this is a very exciting battle as it progresses through the rest of this gas tank. I expect in the next 5 minutes we're going to see some people making some pit decisions. Daytona definitely consumes some fuel, so these guys are not hesitant to enjoy some draft either here.
Indeed, you can see Taylor Atkinson there choosing not to go and force the move, and indeed, I can't say that I blame him in that aspect. It could be one of those things where, all right, he's outnumbered. He's 1 versus 2, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, the numbers are not in his favor. But right now, you got to wonder, does he just want to try and tuck behind and save fuel? Don't get me wrong, Noah Gill's going to get the same kind of reception, but Dalton Edsel there, we know he's carrying damage, and in some ways, that's kind of a good way. It's almost like the sacrificial lamb, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, he may be on the menu today, as right now, though, he's got the likes of 2 drivers showing some keen pace, and indeed, on lap times, these guys, best lap, similarly matched. Noah Gill being the fastest of the bunch, but just by 0.05 of a second over Taylor Atkinson. But you see there, just ahead, that's one of the NW Sim Racing cars as well, trying to get into the mix. It's Matai Jojoy.
Looks like Dalton Edsel ahead of Noah Gill there. Also has a little bit of Porsche damage on the front left, I believe. So able to really keep that Porsche dialed in with a little bit of damage on the Porsche ahead of him, Zippy, on Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton. Oh, yeah. We're good.
He's got a little bit of front left damage on this Porsche. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much here as he comes into the bus stop. Noah Gill not able to do too much with the draft in his Mustang, but able to save some fuel for sure throughout the length of this. Zippy, even half a gallon, 0.8 of a second saved in the pits could put you in front of a car. And we've seen tonight how hard it is to make safe passes at Daytona. It could be the difference in a spot and some extra points here in the championship.
Well, what I think I may have just saw that these guys think about bump drafting. Certainly myself, 100% I'll be all over that. Is that what we're going to see, ladies and gentlemen? Because put it this way, if he gets any closer, oh yeah, that's a bump draft. That's teamwork right there. That's what that is. Lifting up on the braking zone. But here you go. Here comes Atkinson. Indeed, he's managed to make a move. He buys one. Can he get two? Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an all-out sale for him. And indeed, he's not managed to get both of them, but he has indeed become the meat in the middle of that sandwich. Taylor Atkinson able to split the two up, and potentially he's just got Dalton Etzel ahead. Albeit the slowest of the three drivers in this pack, going just off best lap alone. As I say that, OT Senior makes it down pit road. No. What happened here at OTC? Let's take a quick peek here.
Looks like OT Senior had a little bit of difficulty leaving the first horseshoe, I believe it was, Zippy.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
yeah,
dear.
right over that white line where the track dips away. If you're on the gas in that probably a high second gear in that Porsche, that rear end is liable to go. Unfortunate series of events for him, but car is still safe. Safe rejoin, everyone's good. So glad to see OT Senior back on track.
Yeah, I've definitely span it there more than once, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I do have to ask as well, for shop versus shop, are we going to see any races in the rain? That's something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly that would indeed be a new kind of test. But let's take a look here. Archie Woods now. It looks like he said, you know what? I don't want to be under the fence today. I'm going to go on attack and trying to find his way up into P13 and get ahead of Oasis Sim Racing very own Nathan Block.
Absolutely. Nathan Block in front of him.
Ooh.
Wow, a little bit loose there through the bus stop. Archie Woods, very respectable, giving him all the time he needed to correct that Mustang. Nathan Block with quite a bit of fans in chat, so I know that's the first of his screen time, I believe. Under some serious pressure from Archie Woods. We've seen some good driving out of him this series so far. I expect him and Nathan Block to have a good battle here as we really are coming down low into the fuel. So these cars are light, a little bit faster on the straights, faster through the infield. Guys feeling very confident on the brakes right now as these tires are up to temp and everything's feeling good.
Indeed, and that looks like it may have even backfired there very briefly for Taylor Atkinson. He almost got the better of one, but and had the teammate of Noah Gill right behind the flow state drivers, really, really working together. I do have to wonder as well, do you reckon we should catch up with some of these drivers right now? You know what, let's catch up with Kevin Desnoyers here, as he's currently making his way through lap traffic. Indeed, Kevin, we got you here in the production booth. Indeed, looks like it's going pretty well for you today, making your way through a bit of lap traffic. What would be your strategy for having ultimate pace here at Daytona?
Whoa, what's that? Oh, I'm just saving fuel, trying to not die in the bus stop each lap, basically.
Well, I've got to admit, that's definitely a pretty solid strategy. But Kevin, we are indeed going to leave you to it and wish you the best of luck. One of the few drivers, if not the only driver, running the Aston Martin, so I do thank you for that. Actually, no, Cody Hayward running Aston Martin as well, but certainly good to see it there and performing well. Certainly for some drivers, it's a little bit of a haphazard vehicle, but we are going to leave you to your own devices. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely a man of many words. Fair play, he's got a lot on his plate right now, but indeed not as much as this man, Taylor Atkinson. He's been absolutely loving the battles as well, and indeed, is he somebody we can speak to? I believe so. He is. Let's take a look here with Taylor Atkinson. Can I scroll up that far? Hang on. I need a bigger
Taylor Atkinson has...
there you go.
Thanks for joining us, Taylor. Looks like you are dealing with a couple flow state cars here under some serious pressure, and you've been looking to make a turn into turn one here. We'll leave you to it. No need to make a comment now. I know you've been waiting for this.
Thanks, guys.
Morgan, you coward. You coward. We're going to keep him in here. We're going to keep him in. You know what? He's made the move. Morgan's obviously a little bit more courteous than I am. I'm more like, you know what? Let's chat to this guy. He's got it. I believe in you, Taylor. You can multitask. If you do happen to bin it now, then we'll leave you in peace. But certainly that's not the goal. But certainly able to have some really good battles there with the flow state guys. And how are you finding the Porsche here at Daytona? Generally speaking, it's an absolute machine on the brakes. What's your strategy here though at Daytona, where there's obviously quite a lot of 100% throttle applications?
Definitely going for just gas out, trying to catch these guys. I mean, I started a little further back than I wanted, and really want to try and make up that time that I lost early.
Well, certainly fair play to you. You're definitely driving a lot better than I would, but you are a little bit on your own here at this point because your teammates, I mean, you're having a good representation as Pixel Speed alone, but tell us a little bit where you had to take on two flow state drivers. Did you think that they was, working together as a team? Did you find it was more difficult? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
It definitely felt like they were working together a little bit. I mean, not a big deal because, you want to win the game, win the race, but definitely felt like a little bit of bump drafting there going on the straights to try and keep me out of drafting range. But Yeah, they put up a really good fight. It was a really fun battle. I'm really enjoying this race so far.
Well, certainly, Taylor, we are very much enjoying it here as well. We're going to wish you the best of luck, leave you to your own devices, and certainly start thinking about that fuel stop. And indeed, coming in, top piece of advice, make sure you do not have tyres checked. Many times we've seen tyres inadvertently taken. Indeed, that's a good way to lose the positions she's fought so hardly for. But ladies and gentlemen, driving the number 4 car is Taylor Atkinson for Pixel Speed.
Thank you, guys.
Some times coming in there. Looks like, I believe, a 44.7 we had in one of the lead drivers. So these guys are setting some serious times down on fixed lobbies. That's nothing to sneeze at, Zippy.
Definitely, you would know better than me. I know you are quite a potent GT3 driver as well. Let's take a look here. As Matthew Baker's got the likes of Edwin and Offer right behind him as well. Neither of these drivers has pit. Actually, Archie Wood's currently being the highest position driver to make it down pit road. As I say that, Eric Holzman has just gone to take that position. He's now in 15th. Had that rough start at the beginning, though. Have to double check exactly what lap he pit. Indeed, as right now, these two Pixel Speed drivers are duking it out. Chad Cornett there picking up a little bit of a slowdown very briefly. But who else have we got available to us? Indeed, I gotta say, shout out to Flow State. They have the best Pit Road Productions Discord attendance by far. Indeed, Oasis. This is a subtle hint, and indeed, NW Sim Racing. And indeed, Superlap. We would love to speak to you guys during the broadcast, but you've got to be here for that. As right now, these two Pixel Speed drivers absolutely duking it out. I do have to wonder, though. I'm going to see a little bit of pit strategy, you know. Matthew Baker could lead a couple of laps. Edwin and Offer could lead a couple of laps. They both save fuel. They both potentially have a short pit stop. Just saying, communication could be crucial here for the team championship.
Absolutely, Zippy. It really comes down to the team and the kind of guys they are. Some guys want to fight for the individual championship. Some teams treasure that team scoreboard a little bit more. I know that my sim team, we always have one guy that tows another guy, and then they end up saving a bunch of time in the pits. That guy's really able to capitalize in the second gas tank. That is usually how it goes. They end up fighting to see who's going to tow each other. Looks like these guys were just able to exchange positions. Maybe they're in communication. Edwin's going to lead a couple laps here for Matthew Baker, trying to get some more Pixel Speed drivers up on that podium tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely trying. Let's take a look here. It looks like that. I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, they are indeed brothers. We've got Tyler and Chad here. And I got to say, if ever you was looking for something to put on Instagram, Flow State, this is it. I know that I'm sure it was you guys that did the flex and stuff, and it brought me a little bit of a giggle. Fair play, I'm all for that. Bring more of that, as right now these two guys are indeed having a little bit of a Kodak moment. Well, I think they're pretty sure they've gone bust, ladies and gentlemen, but you get the sentiment, I'm sure. Indeed, having a little bit of a display there. But right now, Eric Holzman, now keep in mind, this is your P2 race sitter. He's currently behind him. He has been down pit road, albeit very quickly. Not enough, I think, for fuel. He will have to pit again. That doesn't mean he's not going to battle, though. There isn't going to be any freebies here at Daytona.
Eric, with a big incident early in the race, was able to really make the most out of this first gas tank. Finds himself in P13 now, able to capitalize on some draft from the Cornette brothers.
That's hot! Too hot! No!
I don't believe he touched the BMW. Looked like he just had to lock up.
I think he touched him and then had to, trailing car physics. I think that's what happened there. But I have an update for you as well. An update for you. It's more of an update for me. And indeed, a jockeying with the memory. So what I can see here is Chad Cornett has picked up a black flag. He has not been down pit road, so I do have to wonder if he's picked up instant limit violation. Indeed, that would have to be for off tracks, because, I mean, the car looks spotless. But what I can tell you as well, Chad and Tyler are indeed father and son. Chad is the dad. That Morgan, I'm going to say you can remember that because we know what my memory's like. But indeed, Chad is the dad, ladies and gentlemen. Can we make a graphic for it? There you go. I tell you what, Wyatt, if you want to make a graphic saying Chad is the dad or something, or indeed Flow State as it's your driver, I will 100% put that up just for the giggles. And by doing that, I'm probably going to remember even better. But he's managed to pick up a black flag, ladies and gentlemen. But the son, Tyler Cornett, he's currently running pretty good. He's currently there in P11 as the pits are an absolute... Oh dear, this is going to get good. Okay, this is going to get very good. So Brian Thomas has just come out of pit road, and indeed Jack Lidner has been able to absolutely sneak one under there. Not much in the pit speed difference, but indeed about 3 seconds on pit lane time overall. And as a result, Brian Thomas now down 3 positions overall. Few drivers still here to make a pit. Top 4 still to make a pit here, but Jack Lidner there with some supreme pit strategy, as I believe that is indeed Tyler Cornett ahead, who's now going to be under pressure from these 2 lead drivers.
Jack Lidner definitely showing his experience there through the pit cycle in the first gas tank, able to capitalize and take Brighton's podium step away. He will find himself in P2 here, as Onofre and Matthew Baker do still need to find their pit stop and get some fuel for the rest of this race, Zippy.
Indeed they do, as they make their way around the absolutely beautiful left-hander. Certainly myself, love that corner. There is a little bit of a bump, and you just saw Jack Linder would have been right by it. Indeed, a gentle squeeze of the throttle as Tyler Cornette there is backing out of it. That's understandable, so as these two guys are absolutely going to duke it out. Brian Thomas, he's keen, he's motivated, and despite the absolutely gorgeous rear end on that Ferrari, he doesn't really want to look at it for very long. I imagine he's going to absolutely apply pressure there and try and get the best possible exit he can out of the bus stop. Indeed, you need to maximize the corner exit there. If you make a mistake, it's going to follow you, not just around this first bank section, but then the whole start finish all the way down to turn 1.
Currently on the board P5, but really P3 here fighting P2. I believe these guys are going to have a close battle for the last 2 spots on the podium for the rest of this race, it looks like. Jack is not folding to any of this pressure, and he is keeping that Ferrari underneath him and driving very well. Bryden Thomas really fighting for a spot back. Didn't like to. I myself never like to get past in the pits, so I totally respect Bryden here being aggressive, trying to get a spot back on track that he had it when they were driving together.
Well, indeed, I have a feeling this battle isn't over yet, as that's another driving coming out the pits. That indeed is not Edwin Offer. That's Matthew Baker, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be just ahead of this pack by about 1.1 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Further back, though, Taylor Atkinson. He's been pretty racy today. Indeed, he's keen. He's motivated. Right now, he's got the Northwestern Sim. Let me double check that. NW Sim Racing driver ahead of him, of Matai, who did actually have to miss around, and we will forgive him for that, purely because that Corvette looks fantastic. And another quick shout out. Morgan, you're familiar with that sponsor, are you not? It's Podium One.
Yes, I believe I have seen some Podium One. Have my hands on hopefully influencing some of the designs that their logo goes on. So I'm very happy to see them making their way into here to the Shop vs. Shop as a sponsor. They've really spread their wings here, Zippy, into the sim racing. They've been a great sponsor, really taking part in a lot of activities for us and helping the sim world grow.
Well, indeed, the biggest reason I wanted to shout out Podium One is personally because we just actually finished their second series, the Podium One Fixed Series Championship. Indeed, a huge thank you to CJ for organising that, and indeed, definitely good to have him on board. But not only that, they sponsor Swelly Almeida. And ladies and gentlemen, if you watch Pit Road Productions on a Saturday, you'll see the Almeida Academy. So you see the students absolutely racing it out. They have four splits of that thing as well. Absolutely insane. Guys, if you want to do 4 splits to shop versus shop, we will figure out a way to do it. We'll stagger the times that we have to. It was old a little bit of overheated tyres perhaps for Taylor Axon. Indeed, it has come back to bite him. It was looking like a promising charge, but he's going to have to be really careful here on the rejoin, as that's another person gone around right next to him. I believe that's Andrew Way. No, it's a Porsche.
Looks like the difference in weight from the pit stop maybe throwing some of these guys off through the bus stop. Zippy, the tires cool down a little bit in the pits. They pick up some more weight, come out and try to push the cars like they did on light fuel and try to chase that relative. This can definitely happen.
Indeed, they can. As right now, oh, there you go. That's what happened to OTC, ladies and gentlemen. Got a little bit loose there on the exit. The Street Nights driver not having the day that he was looking for. But right now, though, we got another battle starting to emerge. As Jack Lidner, currently up 6 positions, is applying all sorts of pressure here to Bryden Thomas.
These guys have plenty of time still with 10 minutes on the clock, Zippy, so Jack Lidner doesn't look too eager to make the move. Bryden Thomas is definitely putting some good times down in his Corvette, clearing the air quite well for both of them. Jack Lidner not really able to get up underneath the wing of that Corvette yet.
Indeed, he's definitely applying pressure. Indeed, Bryden Thomas himself have definitely been duking it out. And indeed, it's the closest battle we got on track right now. But let's take a look here a little bit further back. As Rodney Gibson and Kyle Ilgafriz, these two guys are duking it out for P21.
On board with Ryan Gibson here, Rodney Gibson. We did see him take that early pit very early here. So I'm not sure if he already took his second pit or if he still needs to go in for a little bit more fuel with the timing of that. But his Corvette is looking absolutely beautiful in that magenta here into the first horseshoe. Stick to the inside where there's plenty of grip on that inside curb and get on the gas as early as you can. Be careful here where that track leans out. We did see some incidents there earlier tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a very easy spot there to lose the car. Indeed, we've got a black flag there for Max Quinones. Indeed, he's definitely not at the race he was looking for today in the McLaren. So right now, it disappears to have somebody to play with, though. That is one of the flow state drivers. Just trying to get a look here at the number. I think the numbers are indeed the same color as the car. I might be able to make an adjustment on that, as right now Max goes a little bit wide there. It's the flow state driver on the inside. Let's have a look here, see if we can figure out exactly who that is. Here we go. They're having a bit of fun.
Looks like Daytona's catching a couple of these drivers out, Zippy, with the off tracks and the black flags. Racking up those 1Xs can add up pretty quick over time. I've seen a couple in the bus stop. I know the second horseshoe is really easy to come out and touch the dirt. They're pretty strict. As soon as you hear the dirt, you're going to see green and get your 1X there as well. So Daytona a little bit more strict than it looks. People really want to attack this infield, so it's pretty easy to rack those up.
It definitely is. Certainly some tracks are indeed worse than others for picking up incident points. Certainly Imola, love the track, do not love the track limits indeed. One of the few courses, okay, I don't know about one of the few courses, one of the courses where drivers are a little bit more susceptible to incident points. Certainly the off tracks are quite aggressive on that particular venue. You've got to learn them indeed. Thinking of Alton Park as well, the left-hander probably about turn 3 as well. The exit there can be quite a aggressive spot. As right now you see Jack Lindner in the Ferrari gets a little bit loose on entry. That's not quite the line he was looking for. Able to get an exit though, but did lose a bit of time there to the back of Brian Thomas. Indeed, he's going to lose the draft there to the number 48.
Brian Thomas making the pass and keeping the pedal down in his Corvette. Able to find a little bit of clean air here away from Jack Lindner. Not too much time left on the clock here, Zippy, just less than 8 minutes. Bryden Thomas putting himself in a great spot here for P4 and to get some points for NW Racing.
Indeed, let's take a look at one of the Street Nights drivers. It indeed is Andrew Way. Currently, he is indeed the hard charger, except for one person, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Baker. He's managed to make it up 15 spots and take the 3rd spot on the podium. But right now, the gentleman behind him, Taylor Atkinson, he's had pace today, he's had racecraft, but is it going to be enough to find his way past the McLaren of Andrew Way? Certainly McLaren, a good, well-balanced car as a Porsche there, applying all sorts of pressure, lifts off a little bit on the straight. Not going for the move just yet. I'm actually a little bit surprised as there we go, down he goes. Are we going to see a move here going down into turn 1?
That's a very experienced drive by Taylor Atkinson there, able to time his draft in the difference in pace to try to make the most of his turn 1 entry. Andrew Way really able to find the grip on the outside line there in the McLaren and hold it down. But well done, Andrew Way, to keep his position there into the first horseshoe.
Indeed, you see that, ooh, very late on the brakes there, and oh dear. A little bit of lots of traction there on the right-hander. Indeed, it's definitely seen the Porsche of all cars definitely seems to be the more susceptible to that today. Indeed, I think himself, OT Senior as well, getting caught in the same corner there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zippy, with a flat track, it's liable to happen. I think it really just comes down to Taylor Atkinson pushing his car tonight. He was having some good results through the first gas tank, really wants to be involved in the races. So I think it really just comes down to him pushing the car, trying to find those positions back as he had that incident earlier.
Indeed, actually, I've seen a little bit of damage there on the front of OT Senior's car. Let's see if we can take a quick replay and find out what happened. Oh, in the back as well. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's the one we caught earlier. Some of these cars, it's only a 40-minute race, Zippy, but some of these cars look like they're coming in from a 24-hour Le Mans tonight.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? That's something that we've often actually been asked to here as a broadcaster. You know, people want to do an endurance race, you know, and broadcast it. Indeed, you know what? If you want to do it, fair play to you, but that's going to take a lot of work and indeed a sufficient amount of funding to achieve such a thing. But not only that, you know, when we think about it in terms of you know, doing a show, honestly, these half an hour, 1 hour races, indeed, unless you have live race control, that does definitely make a game changer. But it can be hard just to be, you know, looking for the battles and stuff like that. But indeed, it looks like we managed to find one here. Eric Holzman, not the day he's been looking for, was the most pace set we had. The most pace we saw out of Super Lap today. He managed to put it on P2 in qualifying, had an instant lap 1, and the poor guy, he's had it flooring around for the majority of the day. But that is Tyler Cornett just ahead of him, about 4 attempts indeed, and he's applying all sorts of pressure there in the braking zone.
I saw a 145 out of Archie Woods in the Super Lap Mercedes up front, and then we had Eric here come through at a 144.3 as he's enjoying the draft from these guys, catching up to this pack last lap. So these Mercedes have a lot of pace here in the latter half of this race, and these guys are looking to make the most of these late moves as the cars start to fade off.
Indeed, it looks like Ian Harris is going to be just a little bit ahead of that battle as well. I think that's OT Senior, indeed it is, in the middle of that pack as well, as he pulls off to the outside line. As I say that, these guys going side by side here. We're going to see a little bit of a battle here, as certainly Eric Holzman's going to be looking to try and capitalize on this. Indeed, he's going to try and go around, well, the outside, I guess, as, yep, there you go, around the outside, loses a little bit of time there to the back of corner, as OT Senior keeping his foot in him, you know, rightfully so. Now, I do have to wonder here, as Holzman, is he going to go for the slipstream? He's going to have to go the longer way around. I almost wonder, you know, how hard does he want to fight? You know, OT Senior, there we go, he ducks up, out of the way. And that releases Eric Holzman to go and continue in his pursuit there of Tyler Cornett.
Tyler, I suspect, is going to be under some pressure in the next few minutes here from Eric Holzman, as both of them taking some serious pace through the bus stop there, pushing those cars to the limit. Eric with a great exit here, able to tuck up underneath this BMW with a great run headed towards turn 1, Zippy.
Indeed, he's got the opportunity here, but he's going to have to go the long way around. And often, you know, thankfully we haven't seen this today. Some drivers will go and pass on the apron, which you can't really go and duck behind the below the white line. As side by side they go across the start finish. Indeed, you have to ask yourself as well, if it comes down to the last lap, is it going to be possible with a good run to get it just ahead at the nose come the checkers?
Looks like there's been a lot of grip on the inside line. Tyler able to make the most out of the brake zone, a little bit loose on the exit. Eric tucks right back up underneath him.
Indeed, the pressure continues to be applied here. Tyler Cornett putting on the defensive drive that we've seen. This is actually his best one, I'd say, all season as well. He's got talent behind him, and indeed, he's matching it like for like, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, right now, the number 24 car, pretty much unstoppable here. But what can Eric Holzman do to try and find his way back up, find a little bit of redemption as further through the field as well? Andrew Way, he's getting into a battle further up. As right now, is he going to see the move? A little bit of a wiggle there from Cornett, and he's able to keep hold of it. Indeed, OT Senior potentially going to be the camera car for this battle.
It just goes to show how close the spread in this field is. Zippy, Eric, one of our top drivers last week, finds himself in a serious battle here in P16 and P17. So everyone on this grid able to really get a handle of these GT3 cars and get them around the track in a competitive way.
Indeed, here's we return to another battle, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen here Taylor Atkinson. He's been keen, but is it going to be enough? As goes up on the inside, making his way there to the bus stop. Gets it done on the inside. Indeed, he's managed to carry a good amount of exit speed there. Andrew Way is going to have to settle going one back. Taylor Atkinson returning himself to his former glory of P13. Further up the field, though, Nathan Block getting into it here with Cody Johnson. I say that. These two drivers, they're both rocking for Oasis Sim Racing. Indeed, I do have to wonder if we're going to see a battle at the end of this race.
This always comes down to the driver, Zippy. The team can always recommend what to do, but in the last couple laps, these guys want to wheel these cars and get their positions. So I expect even as teammates, they're going to give it a little battle here to the end.
Well, certainly, Reed Lincoln, I'm going to ask you this question. Are we going to see any team orders here from the Oasis Sim Racing Chief? That would actually add a whole other dynamic, actually, if we have literally... Can we have that for next season where we'll have like the leaders or the managers of the sim racing studio being like the team principals? Like we could have a whole extra dynamic for that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
38:50 on the clock right now, Zippy. I expect one more lap after this potentially. I'm not sure where Kevin is up front to check that finish line. We potentially may be in for looks like one more lap here.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's going to be opening out the white flag, I'd say, indeed. If they can get 2 laps in there, they're even quicker than Kevin Desnoyers, and that is indeed saying something. That's one of the super lap Porsches there a little bit further back. As let's take a check-in, back in with this battle here, as Andrew Way is looking to fight back. I think somebody's going in and out here of the standings, so keep an eye on that as well. But Andrew Way in the McLaren, I have to wonder, was this a strategic move here to let Taylor Atkinson pass? Because realistically, on the last lap, I'd say you actually want to be behind at this point. And look at the closing there in the braking. Indeed, Atkinson can try and back him up a little bit. Gets a little bit loose there. Backs him right up. Parks out in the apex. And indeed, any momentum that the McLaren may have carried, it's going to be neutralized at that point. He has to do it purely on draft alone.
Absolutely, Zippy. The last lap's going to be very exciting for Andrew Way here. I would actually want to be in front, Zippy. If you're behind, you would maybe have some draft to the start-finish line, but you are putting all of your eggs in the same basket, trying to get through that bus stop better than the other driver. So if you're ahead and you make a mistake, the driver behind could also follow you and make the same mistake, and you end up being in the same spot.
Whoa.
Andrew Way with a big move inside here.
That was a fantastic move. It was cheeky. It was on the grass a little bit. Indeed, you can see there that McLaren absolutely. It's kind of like watching a terrier run on ice trying to catch a ball at that point. It is absolutely scrabbling for grip. And Taylor Atkinson, he's taken note of that, able to sneak it up there on the inside of the right-hander.
Yeah, Taylor able to show him what the brakes on the Porsche are capable of there. Andrew Wade giving Taylor a taste of his own medicine. We've seen a lot of turn one passes on the inside out of Taylor Atkinson tonight, so that was a big pass from Andrew Wade here. Big battles in the last lap between these two.
Yeah, a little bit of a short shift there from the McLaren. Indeed, he's having a really hard time for traction there. Certainly yourself, you are experienced in driving these GT3 machines. Myself, I dabbled in them. Never been quite as potent as Morgan. Indeed, that's certainly... you can take that as a compliment there, Morgan. Let's check in here very quickly here with Kevin Desnoyers. As yes, ladies and gentlemen, he has taken the win. Absolutely outstanding result for him. Edwin Onofre in the Mustang. He brings it home in second. And Matthew Baker, the hard charger of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, up 15 positions on the day. Incredible stuff there. Brian Thomas, we saw an outstanding battle with himself and Jack Lindner. Sadly, Lindner not able to quite get it done there, but the highest placed super lap driver as well. Further back though, Ryan Hennepin brings it across in sixth. Noah Gill, good result there for Flow State. He's in seventh. Dalton Etzel and Abe, two Flow State drivers back to back. Archie Woods, the man himself, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to come across the line in ninth. And moving on a little bit further back, I see Cody Johnson there ahead of Nathan Block. These two guys switched around a little bit as well, but it looks like Taylor Atkinson and Andrew Way are indeed going to bring it to the line. And on this occasion, Atkinson's been able to get the better of him. Andrew Way will have to settle for P13.
Very exciting race tonight, Zippy. A lot of big action. I think my move of the race, Zippy, is going to be Edwin Onofre and Matthew Baker, able to work as a team through the second half of that first gas tank, able to save and go an extra lap, taking the shorter pit stop, finding themselves on second and third spot on the podium for a Pixel Speed 1, 2, 3. I think that kind of team activity and team play is really why GT3 racing is so exciting. So that's great to see Pixel Speed and their strategy cap make the most of their strategy tonight.
Indeed, definitely a couple of drivers who we didn't really get to see too much today. Indeed, we did focus pretty heavily on the battles, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, we want to offer you as much racing as we possibly can. But I do want to find out what happened to Matai. Actually, he pretty much dropped off the radar at some point. See if we can find out what happened to him.
On board here with Dan Pankos to finish his race in 23rd position. Not his best night of racing either. We have seen some better results out of him as well. Looks like Daytona was a little bit hit or miss. Some guys able to capitalize. It's really going to mix up the championship points and be exciting for here on out in the last couple of races, Zippy.
It definitely is. I'm just trying to scroll back here to find out exactly what happened to Matai because, yeah, he was doing good. I got nothing on the log. I don't think he actually came out of pit lane.
I believe Matei's incident may have been earlier in the race.
Well, okay, I tell you what, you do the results, I'll keep looking for it.
All right, for Daytona results, we have Kevin Desnoyers with Pixel Speed up front by around 14 seconds, followed by Edwin Onofre and Matthew Baker for Pixel Speed 1, 2, 3. Bryden Thomas, the first NW Sim Racing car, in 4th position, followed by Jack Lindner, our first Super Lap car in his Ferrari in P5. Another NW Sim Racing car behind them in 6th with Ryan Hennepin, followed by two Flow State drivers, Noah Gill and Dalton Etzel, in 7th and 8th. Archie Woods in his Mercedes comes in P9th, and rounding out the top 10, we have Cody Johnson. Moving on, in a Mustang, we had Nathan Block for Oasis Sim Racing in P11. Taylor Atkinson in P12 with some difficulties, but a great recovery to end up in 12th place. Andrew Way as well, similar, followed that battle right to the end in P13. Ian Harris in 14th with Eric Halsbin in 15th. Jonathan Poison, 16th tonight with Tyler Cornett in 17th. Carson Schulenberger in 18th with Chad Cornett and Rodney Johnson in 19th and 20th.
Having a look there at P21, it was Kyle Ilgenfriz. But Matai George, we have found he towed to pits. We'll have a look at that in a few short moments here, see if we can figure out exactly what happened to him. In 23rd, Ryan Oliver with Dan Pancoast in 24th. And again, a huge shout out to Dan as well. Very active on the social media side, indeed, trying to help everybody see a little bit more of this action. So a huge shout out to him. Justin Roof in 25th with Cody Haggard in 26th. OT Senior, definitely a rough night for him. He was there in 27th with Max Quinones. I remember now, Max Quinones, he's there, took P28. Let's take a quick look here at the replay and find out what exactly happened to Matai. Oh, there we go. That was brief.
It looked like it was outside the bus stop. Zippy on the exit found himself on the outside wall.
Yep, there you go. Well, definitely a little bit unfortunate indeed. Our condolences as Morgan. Who do you want to chat with first? I mean, we often speak to our race winners, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of want to mix it up a little bit here today.
Let's talk to Bryden Thomas.
Sure. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
All right, Bryden, thanks for joining us in the booth tonight. A very eventful race at Daytona here for the shop versus shop race. How did you feel about Northwest's team strategy coming into the race and your own performance in your Corvette?
Well, strategy, honestly, in comparison to the esports guys at Pixel, there's no way to top them. I mean, they have all the insights, they have all the data. I mean, we're just playing it by ear with auto fuel and whatnot, so we're not really putting too much into it. But put me a couple positions down, so I might be looking into things a little bit more as we go forward. But overall, really happy with the performance. Not a really big fan of how the Corvette handles at Daytona. I much more used to the LMP2 and that kind of downforce. So getting to learn this track and staying on track is it was a bit of a challenge early on in practice. But at least I was able to clutch it up enough to keep it on track for the race and to get a top 5 for the team. Would have been really nice to get that P2 if we had a better strategy, but you know, all is fair in the world of racing. So I'm extremely happy with how I did today, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Edwin and Matthew Baker were able to take that extra lap of fuel in the first gas tank, really made the difference with the pit stop. And you said it best, a lot of drivers had some minor incidents and you were able to keep your Corvette safe. It's always a pleasure to get a clean car across the finish line no matter the position. So well done tonight. How do you feel about your prospects moving forward into next week for NW Sim Racing?
Well, I believe we're going to Algarve. I believe is how you pronounce it. It's very, very different type of racing. I mean, it's a street course, right? So kind of got to throw everything that we thought about this week in the trash and come up with something new for a street course, especially. So with the ability to rotate this Corvette, I don't think I'll have much of a problem going across into next week. I feel that the Corvette's going to hold up on a road course just fine.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to Algarve next week. It's going to be some tight racing compared to the GP tracks and these big road circuits that we've been at so far. So hopefully we can get the NW Sim Racing on some podium steps next week. Thanks so much for showing up. It was a pleasure speaking with you, Bryden.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Morgan.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed Bryden Thomas. Certainly good to have a chat with him. But one person I do want to have a chat to as well, actually, is this man, ladies and gentlemen, the hard charger of the field. It's Matthew Baker, made his way up all the way to P3. Tell us a little bit about your moves through the field there, Matthew.
Yeah, it was intense. Our practice and our qualifying, I did absolutely horrible, and I was having a very unfun time. And I went to the race with little to no confidence. Just couldn't get the car to do the things I wanted it to do, and then just one by one, just made our way through the field, and we came out of the pits, and I looked down, and I was 3rd place, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess that's about the best you can ask for. I was trying to run down Edwin there, but I cooked my tires getting through the field. I made some big moves, some big dives, some big slides out of the corners, trying to get power down, just trying to make up as much time as I humanly could. But halfway through the race, I really found that confidence, and I really started to make up some spots. So, I mean, that's a lot more fun than the last couple weeks, but hopefully next week we can qualify up front and have a little bit more of a calm race.
Well, honestly, I mean, it depends on which way you want to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, you worked hard and you was indeed able to bring it home in 3rd. Fair play to you, but I got to ask as well, like, certainly, you know, what to you makes a better race? Is it, you know, would you be happy to qualify up front and have something like more relaxed, or would you rather duke it out and try and make your way through the field? Because for myself, I think that's an easy call. For me, it's about the race rather than the result. But tell us about your point of view here. It seems like you'd be more keen to have it a little bit less hectic next week at Algarve.
Well, I mean, it's the difference between having a fun race and a good race, right? I mean, you want to go out there. I mean, if it's here, real life, or anywhere, you want to go out there and, you know, qualify first, outrun the field, show everybody that, you know, you're the best one out here. You know, that's what you want to do. Is it more fun? You know, it's a different kind of fun. I mean, this was definitely more fun. I mean, than, you know, the other races. But, you know, as a better race, I mean, you know, you want to go out there and just prove that you're the best in every way, right? So, obviously, I was not the best in every way, but, you know, we had some good racing, and the racecraft came through, and the stuff that, you know, I talked about in week 1 and week 2 showed itself here, and why I think the racing aspect of learning how to drive is a big part of it. And for days like this, because you're not always going to qualify up front, you're going to have bad efforts here and there, and you got to be able to recover those efforts on some days.
Well, I say that's definitely some solid words of advice there from Matthew Baker, driver of the number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Lamborghini GT3, and indeed representing Pixel Speed. An absolutely fantastic result today. Able to make his way up an really astonishing 15 positions to move his way into third. Matthew, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out for today's performance?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out the guys here. They were talking to me before the race when I was saying that I was absolutely cooked, and they kind of got me back into a good mindset and all that kind of stuff. So, just the guys here, we're doing good together. We're running good together. We're, working with each other, trying to do the best we can with each other to, push each other further and all that kind of stuff. So, just the guys here, they're doing a great job. So, I like to shout those guys out.
Well, certainly, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute pleasure there to speak to Matthew Baker, the hard charger of the field. We're going to let you go, see if we can catch up with some other drivers, but hopefully we'll see you back here in the booth for Algarve.
See you guys.
Well, Morgan, I understand you've been able to catch up with this gentleman. It's Noah Gill for Flow State.
Well, hello,
Absolutely.
Can you hear me well this time?
Yes, we can, Noah. Thanks for joining us. How did you feel about Flow Spate's prospects coming into tonight and your results that you were able to manage with your Mustang this evening?
I'm pretty proud of it. My qualifying wasn't completely perfect, but it never is. So fell down to 10th at the start for qualifying, which is my lowest qualifying this series so far. But then we were able to get it all back with some help from my teammate and also a little short pit strategy that helped me leapfrog 2 cars there. So I think it was a pretty successful race for starting in 10th, and then also getting collected a bit in that first lap chaos that we always seem to have.
Absolutely. Cold tires can always catch these GT3 cars out. Taylor Atkinson was putting up quite the battle in his Pixel Speed Porsche in between you and your teammate. Tell us a little bit about Flow State and your racing situation. Were you guys mic'd up? Did you guys have team, were you driving together, making decisions together for the second half of that first gas tank?
Yeah, we were mic'd up, although my mic was actually muted for most of the first stint there, which I didn't notice until I asked if I was going to be good on fuel. But yeah, we communicated a little bit. I was telling him that I was, when I was going to push him, but he didn't hear that, apparently. So I don't know how helpful that was, but we worked together pretty well there, and that Porsche was pretty annoying and trying to advance ourselves, but I think we dealt with him pretty well. He did end up getting past me, and I don't know if it got past him after I swept into the pits there, but...
So this evening, very exciting at Daytona. As you said, very active racing in both fronts, both with clean and very fast driving and good battles, and some very exciting incidents to watch as well. How do you feel about going to Algarve next week, a much tighter track? You drive one of the larger GT3 cars here in the Mustang. How do you think that's going to fare around Algarve next week?
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think I'll be all right. It is one of the actually first tracks I've driven in sim racing, because before I got into iRacing, I was actually raced a lot of Race Room, and that's one of the free tracks on there. So I've raced my way around what is called Portimao in that game a few times. So I think it'll be a good race for me, but we'll see.
Absolutely. I think it's a track where the people with seat time are going to be able to shine. Is there anyone that you would like to shout out before we let you go?
I guess shout out to, of course, Flow State Sim Racing for letting me race in this series. It's been a blast. And shout out to my parents for letting me pursue this hobby as much as I do. I'm consider myself pretty fortunate to be able to do the cheaper version of a hobby that's incredibly expensive, but the cheaper version's still pretty expensive. So.
Absolutely. A labor of love, no doubt. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck next week in Algarve.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed Noah Gill. Absolutely phenomenal battles there, watching the Flow State drivers go at it. But we have got another interview for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be somebody who is, they're not out there on the track, but indeed it is one of the managers there. Or indeed the only manager, I believe, there at Racing Sim Racing. Wyatt, can we get a check here?
Check, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. So, Wyatt, certainly you've been working hard to make this series happen behind the scenes. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the series, what you guys are doing in terms of some inter-rivalry, some promotion, indeed. If people want to get involved, maybe give us a little bit of a plug here on a few foods and sports and facts about the series.
Yeah, big thing is, us and Oasis Sim Racing and Pixel Speed. I mean, we're doing a lot of this, just trying to get everything rolling on it. I mean, and just really trying to, I mean, pave the way, get set up something really awesome. I mean, it has been very interesting getting us all going, and it's a lot of stress going on. We made a whole little other Discord, get all the other shops going in so we can set up practice lobbies and all the other drivers can see where the competition's at and just, kind of build a little community with all the other drivers from all the other shops. It's been really cool seeing this grow.
Well, I think one of the big questions as well is how do drivers get involved in this? Because from what I'm understanding so far is that, don't get me wrong, you want people to come in, but they have to qualify. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so for this one, each shop set up, they picked a track and the setup on how they're going to run the track, and just ran, I think, a month-long qualifier, and we just took top 5 times from those qualifiers.
Oh, indeed, it's fair to say we've seen some pretty potent drivers come out of the woodwork as well. But Wyatt, I'm certainly... Sorry, go ahead.
I say extremely potent drivers, but it's really fun to watch the racing.
It definitely is, and not only that, we've had an eclectic mix of drivers as well. I mean, we've got a couple of, for lack of better words, just outright aliens, ladies and gentlemen. We mean that in purely a complimentary way. You could almost say it's envious of the pace here, but certainly the racecraft as well has been nothing short of fantastic. The racing has been fantastic. What do you think we should look forward to for next season of Shop versus Shop?
For next season, we're looking to expand a little bit, try to get maybe 2 different splits, kind of give a bigger gap for those aliens, kind of give them more competition, and then the people who aren't quite up to alien speed, give them, a little more racing competition, make it more interesting for everybody.
I can definitely relate to that. Certainly, I've had the pleasure and indeed the experience of racing a few of these incredibly potent people as well. But I've got to say, you know what? As a mid-pack Larry, I think I honestly have even more fun. But I think one of the big things that we're maybe not taking away from this is, for anybody who's thought about going racing, as we were hearing, it's expensive. But going sim racing, the bang for buck is so much better. It doesn't matter what the weather is outside, providing you've got stable power. And indeed, in terms of dollars, per minute of entertainment, the return on investment's absolutely, it's fantastic, realistically. To spend a night out can be like $100, $200 for a good night out. You buy a sim rig and then put the amount of hours you put into it, the bang for buck, the squeeze is pretty good. So certainly, I'm going to recommend that. And not only that, if you have a partner that enjoys peace and quiet, it means that you are then dispensed to that room and occupied for an unsustained period of time. So there is definitely that. So if you're trying to win over your partner on the idea, just irritate them, and indeed that might be one way of doing it. Certainly, definitely don't look at me for marriage advice or anything like that. There's not been anybody blind, drunk, or desperate enough to say yes, and indeed I'm okay with that right now. But Wyatt, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to chat with you as well. And certainly, we do give you a shout out every week. Definitely appreciate the work that's gone into making this series happen. And again, our apologies here for starting a little bit late. It's been a bit of a rough day, but I'm definitely looking forward to heading over to the next round of Algarve. Morgan, before we get too excited here, let's bring the cameras back. Let's get a little bit of a review here from you, from yourself. You know what? He may not have been on the grid, but you know what? He's still on the podium, ladies and gentlemen. Morgan Smith, it's just his own special podium. But Morgan, let's get a couple of thoughts here from you in terms... Oh, you're trying to refocus the camera. I'm with you now. Let's get some thoughts here from you on, what do you think we can expect to see at the street circuit of Algarve?
I think Algarve is very exciting. The GT3 cars have a lot of speed when you exit a corner, and you're going to be going into some very aggressive braking right after that, basically every corner at Algarve. So these guys are going to be using their mechanical grip a lot, really having to wrestle those cars around, and I expect some good battles. Not a lot of huge drafts and brake zones that we see at Daytona, so I expect a lot of side-by-side and some good technical racing throughout a good number of corners to get a pass done at Algarve.
I think myself as well, obviously being a street circuit, I think it's going to kind of reward the people who take the risk as long as they can keep it within the certain thresholds. Don't get me wrong, it's a high-risk, high-reward track, and certainly we've seen the likes of come spring to mind here. If I think of street circuit specialist, Connor Bell springs to mind. you know, you've really got to be able to push the limits to the grid. And I have a feeling a few drivers here may do well purely by aggregate. If someone else pushes a little bit too hard, it could be absolute chaos. It's definitely going to be one of those, like, going in, what's going to be your strategy? Are you going to play it safe and, you know, allow that extra couple of inches off the wall, or are you going to absolutely push it to the limit? Indeed, I'm looking forward to finding out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have indeed been watching the Shop versus Shop series here live on Pit Road Productions. Indeed, we're looking forward to seeing all the social media clips that you guys make as well. I'm absolutely loving that. Again, Morgan knows we spoke about this, I don't know, it must have been a year ago, and I was mixed feelings at first, but you know what? I'm getting right behind it. I want to see you guys absolutely sharing the stuffing out of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't know where stuffing fits into sim racing, but indeed it's delicious. But certainly we'd love to see you trying to promote this as much as possible. Again, a huge thank you to everybody here in the chat. I do apologize for not keeping up with it quite as much today. Just taking a quick look here. Quite the attendance again as well. Certainly a lot of partners tuning in, a lot of the sim racing studios tuning in as well. But we are indeed going to bring this show to a close. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today, one only Mr. Morgan Smith. And again, a huge thank you to Wyatt here from Racing Sim Racing for coming in and giving us a little bit of his time as well to tell us what's behind the scenes. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you at the 15 minutes earlier than today next week.
Thank you.